Okay, another one of these. So part 3, it's gonna be all about taking care of this wall. This is gonna be all done today. We're gonna do a bunch of work today, and I'm not exactly sure how to go about some things, but we're gonna figure something out along the way. I'm gonna create an air vent, which I've never done before in my life, so should make for a good video. And also I need to finish the framing for the little CPU Nook, sort of like that, but that should be easy enough. We got experience with framing, don't we? Once we do that, we're gonna stuff this wall up with that safe and sound over there. So that whole section is gonna be chock full with like beautiful insulation material so no sound can go through. And afterwards, we're gonna close it up with some 5/8 drywall, which is fire retardant and also super dense. So that's also gonna be helpful. So air return, vent, framing, stuffing the wall with safe and sound, and putting up drywall. Should be easy enough, right? All right, let's do it.
Should be easy enough.
Isn't that satisfying? I kept wanting to hit the imaginary switch. So the first step is going to be to move this hole here. We're going to do that by utilizing some materials that I actually just got. I bought the fancy little tool for crimping. The sheet metals, it's got a certain diameter that it needs to fit in, right? If both ends are of the same diameter, the joint is not going to be very good, right? So one of those needs to be kind of crimped in, so it's a little bit tighter and it goes in well, and then you tape it up. So that makes for a good joint, hopefully. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but... So basically what's going on, this is going to go straight from that hole that we found. It's kind of nice. I think I'm going to have to modify this part so it's a little bit longer. And then this is the part that is actually going to be part of the wall. Those two are connected with this guy. I think it's going to be okay for the amount of air that we got to push through it. They were recommending 6, but I went with 8. And yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. The worst problem that we have with this is that this is some old standard, because I guess they just wanted as big of an opening as they could get, so they went with 24-inch. And this is a 14-inch. I think we might be able to kind of lengthen this out. I have some sheet metal that I can use for that, so it's not going to be the prettiest job in the world, but kind of sort of like that. It's not pretty, but it's gonna do the job. Test fit. This is gonna be absolutely perfect. So if that's right here, a couple of triangles right here, and we should be good to go. Want some construction ASMR? Oh yeah. Feel those screws. Okay, now let's make those triangular parts. See that line right there? That's where we gotta bend. Thank God for the glove, dude. Tricky spot right here. I have to make this tiny, tiny little lip. Tricky. But considering the expertise level of our fabricator here, it's actually turning out not half bad. So this is what we're working with. Again, not the prettiest, but it's gonna work. Right, we just gotta tape this up with a little bit of that aluminum tape all the way there. It's gonna be great. Now, before I actually build the rest of it, I have to frame up that nook, right? So I know exactly at which point I need to cut that pipe, right? Okay, a couple of things to consider with this nook. So the dimensions should be 16, this way, ish. It's not gonna be 16, it's gonna be 14. Let's see if that's enough, actually. Anyway, 14 by 26, or 25. That's our 25. Let's mark the other side, left. Hit the like button for the left hand marking. Okay. Basically the question is, should we count this bottom or not? Might cut it with the multi-tool. So it turns out that this guy actually has a name. The guys from Doors by Turner, the door dudes, they call this one the Beaver. Does this remind you of a beaver? 'Cause I don't know. Not too bad of a cut. See, I went through a little bit there. This is all gonna be behind a big bass trap, so it doesn't really matter. You gotta figure out the height first. Right here. Whatever that is. How are we gonna do this back one? Right here, and then we're gonna extend it. It's gonna have to be a bit of a concoction. I usually both times that I was doing this, I kind of learned that you should first get the bottom sorted out. Yeah, just as I thought. The rest is done. Looks like we're SOL, my friends. Okay, I think it's okay if we just go across. Gonna be there somewhere, but I gotta figure out where I want to fasten it to. Maybe just this wall over here and maybe prop it with something else on the bottom. Let's see how's our direction. We might have to bend the pipe a little bit. Worst comes to worst, I can always take this one off. Or, I can also put it like this, right? Oh, that might be actually an even better idea. You know what, let's do that. And then we'll work on the rest of the pipe to connect the two. Crumpled edge we're gonna keep, so we're gonna measure from there. And also we're gonna crumple it on the other end as well, because we do need to connect it to the same diameter. Okay, wow, trickier than it seems. See what I mean? Like, constantly have to like twist and turn, and I assume I don't have exactly the right tools for this, but it's not too bad. That seems to be the theme of this series. It's not too bad. So now we gotta connect the two to make an actual pipe, and then we're gonna crumple it together. So something like that. Let's get this on the floor. I think it might be easier. Like this, and then you kind of press. This seems to be the thing. So you kind of press in the middle and then force it. That was the idea. So you kind of push in the middle and then they kind of fall into each other. That's how it looks like in the end. Let me show you the other end. I actually didn't make that bad of a cut. This is an 8-inch pipe. If you crumple it together a little bit like this, it actually becomes a little bit less than that. It's probably, I don't know, like 7 3/4, I don't know. That makes it possible for it to go into another 8-inch pipe, right? So we're gonna do the same thing here, because this is a true 8-inch diameter now. Let me show you the tool, actually. The tool is kind of cool. Almost looks like a pair of pliers that is like offset. You put whatever you need to crumple in between, and then you squeeze a little bit, right? I think that's how you do it anyway. That one is mine. It's a little bit still rugged around the edges. And this is like factory. Let me grab a piece of sandpaper. Cool, all right. So that's done. And of course, I did not try if it was gonna fit. I'm so sure about my measurements. I'm 100%. Let's see. And you see how it looks here? It's got plenty of slack. So let's put a couple screws in there first before we tape it up. This is apparently some like special aluminum tape or aluminium, whatever you want to call it. And it's made just for these purposes especially. Do you think it's proper to say aluminum or aluminium? I was taught aluminium. How about we have a little battle in the comments? Apparently in North America, they treat aluminium as the element and aluminum as the material because they're apparently different. I was taught differently back in Europe, but oh well. It's shiny. What luck. This is exactly the length that I need. All right, should be it. Okay, so let's get that last part of the frame in. It should be pretty straightforward. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Contender one goes there. We're not going to use it just yet. So, but we have this one there. See, that's nice and flush. This. Persuasion. What kind of glue they put on this stuff, but it's actually pretty impressive. It grabs onto things like no one's business. That is looking pretty good. Not too bad for my first return air vent. What do you guys think? Okay, so it's the next day and I'm just about to start putting some of this safe and sound to kind of fill up this wall, but I do need to do one more thing before we do that. Rockwool is not exactly a super safe material that you want floating around in the air around you. I want to kind of seal up the wall as much as I can, right? I'm gonna put a layer of like thin plastic here and also put a layer of fabric. That should make it nice and airtight. Oh, by the way, I did this last night off camera. So this is the plastic that I'm gonna use. So this is what it looks like for now, and we're gonna have another layer of fabric. But yeah, just Keep those nasty particles out. Okay, so this is the... And no, I'm not wearing a toga. How do I look? This is the fabric that we used actually to build a set for the music video for Sprockets. So we bought this to kind of cover up some walls that were originally gray, which you could actually see in another performance video that we did for Flight Impressions. So those are the exact walls in the music video. There's that guy who's like always rushing and like doesn't know where to go and da-da-da. So in his room, that wasn't actually a bedroom, that was a set that we built. And to make those walls white, we used this exact fabric. And I think it's kind of nice that we're gonna put it to some good use here in the studio to kind of permanently be of some like value, other than sentimental, of course. So to fill in these couple of gaps over here, I'm gonna use some of this packing foam I got left over from making my flight case. So that's what we're looking at right now. I might have to install one more, kind of like that, right? So that way I can staple to the very bottom of it. We're also gonna do this side as well, but not right now. I think I'm gonna put some of this tuck tape on the reverse side as well. Kind of like what I did with that air return. We are in pretty good shape, I would say. Not too bad at all. We'll fix this up in no time. No time! You guys remember that hole from the last episode? I stuffed it all. It's some nice safe and sound, so it's not gonna resonate anymore. These are just some scraps that I would have probably tossed out anyway, so turned out actually really nice. Also, it turns out it's way easier if you use just like a regular bread knife. I think it's because it has this like, whatever this is, like some sort of a serrated edge, so it cuts it way nicer than any box cutter. It's nice and clean, and just plop it on there. Hello?
Hello. Hi, how are you, sir?
Oh, good, good. Are you in front of the house or? Okay, I'll meet you in front. I just got the call from the carrier company that does Vicoustic deliveries here in Canada, and we're getting the products today. And they're here. My stuff, my stuff, my stuff, my stuff, my stuff. Wow, that's a lot of shit. So, but all the black stuff is me, you're saying? Great, great, all right. Hell yeah! Okay, some of these are way too big, so we're gonna ask the guy to kind of come around on the driveway so we can get the rest of the stuff into the garage. Like, the guy is super nice. It's like a big ass truck, and he's like, no problem, yeah. Which driveway? This tiny ass driveway you got here? Yeah, sure, I can back it up there. So it looks like we're all done with unloading the truck. Now we gotta get these boxes in. It's gonna be, there's way more than I thought it were gonna be. Super exciting times here. The products look so slick. The entire project is like amazing. We're gonna get them installed. We're gonna get everything nice and tidy, get all the cable management done, put some like LED strips to make it all like pop. I can't wait. I gotta order those LED lights though. So that's, yeah, I gotta do that. I should do that. Unfortunately, the rest of the studio is not done yet. But yeah, no, this is coming together really quickly and really nicely. So it's gonna be great once we're done. We can't wait. Now we have a bit of a tricky part of getting the drywall on. The height of the wall was just under like 9 feet. And we will have the trim on the bottom. So let's cut it like an 8 foot 7/8. So contrary to the Rockwool, you gotta have a good, at least like a decent box cutter. This isn't exactly amazing, but should do the job. So it's a little bit too tight to fit over here, but that's why here it fits actually super nice. So I think I'm just gonna go all the way. It's gonna have a little strip here, and that's gonna be tricky to not break. Haha! Win! All box cutter too. And it broke. We have our first problem with framing. I have no idea how. It should have landed on a stud, but for some reason it hasn't, which means I probably messed something up with the measuring. They say you should go like 16 inches between each stud, and I have. That's why these landed so well. But somehow I did not account for this. Easy enough fix though. We're just gonna add this stud right next to this one so that the drywall can grab onto it. It's a not bad looking wall. Still gotta fix that bit, but we'll get to that. I'm kind of done for today. It's not too bad. Gotta be patient. You kind of have to know your way around a box cutter, right? That's not hard. I'm gonna close this wall up over here. First, I'm thinking I'm gonna mess with this three-way switch. So in order to do that safely, we obviously, as opposed to the previous video, we need to turn off the breaker downstairs. And I actually bought this nifty tool now. It's basically just a contactless voltage detector. Right, so you put this close to whichever wire you're like inspecting, and it tells you whether it has voltage or not. Just like that. These are live as of now, right? So let's go try and kill the breaker. The previous owners had that room basically as a family room, so I'm pretty sure that's the one. 16, okay, so right here. So you see how this one has two different prongs. This is your live and this is your ground. So this cannot be a three-way switch because it needs another additional one for the traveling wire. This is same deal, just a three-way switch. There's like three prongs. This is your ground and these two to make that three-way switch work. Let's disassemble this further. One of these black wires needs to go to the other three-way switch, which I'm going to show you right now. It's just a regular like toggle switch. And the other needs to go to this switch, and that is called a common. Black is common, green is ground, the two reds are travelers. And here on this other switch, the black screw is gonna get the common, and these two are gonna be the travelers. Now this cable is really the kind of this one special thing about this whole setup, right? Because you need to buy this so-called 14-3 wire instead of 14-2, which is the usual one. I just exposed both ends of this, and we're gonna try and mock this one up. So again, we have two travelers, the common and the ground. So that's our ground connected to the whole circuit, right? One of these commons is gonna go here, and the other one is gonna go to the first switch. This is our ground. We don't have to connect the ground to see if this works, but the black, that's our common, that's gonna go here. Then these two are gonna be the travelers. So let's connect the red to the red. That would make sense. So that's our neutral. Leave that as is. And this guy, this is the other common that's going to the light. And then this is the other traveler, which I think needs to go to this red wire here. So that should be it. We have this other three-way switch where this is the common. These would be the two travelers. Okay, so I think I'm good now. So we have one common coming to this switch and then also going to the light itself. And then we have the two travelers over here going to these two travelers. Let me go get the breaker up so we can see if this actually works. Here comes the moment of truth. Let's see. All right. So basically that one works and the other one as well. So I think we got the wiring right. Needless to say, I'm very glad that that went smooth. This could have gone a lot worse than it did. Okay, now we have the power sorted out. We can actually finish up this frame and get some drywall on there. I already have this cut, so I'm just gonna fasten it, and then probably we're gonna have to add one more over here on this side so that the drywall has something to grab onto on both sides, right? Okay, so this is looking pretty good right now. I think it's time to put a sheet of drywall on the outside, put some Rockwool in there, and then seal it off with another sheet of drywall. We might be doing things a little bit out of order, but as long as it's coming together, I'm okay with that. All right, that's not looking bad at all. I think it's about time to stuff this wall up with safe and sound and close it up and call that one good. At least I'll be done with this portion for now. Little bitch, this one. I gotcha, didn't I? So the next step is to get a whole lot of that safe and sound and put it inside there and slap another sheet of drywall on top of that. But yeah, it's starting to look like a wall, finally. So we got a bit of an issue. Looks like I probably messed up the framing, right? So when the door dudes were mounting the doors, they were going off of the straight line from that wall over there. And I somehow messed up this stud over here. I think I put it a little bit too much back. We're talking like, what is this, like half an inch or something? Now the solution that I came up with was to put this here all the way to the top. I think that should give me a good platform to mount the drywall onto. So now we just have that one single issue, and that is what to do with that space, because we have a taper. So it starts off at one depth like here and ends up at 0 over there. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that space. Okay, this didn't quite go as planned, but I think it went okay. Hey, at least it looks like a wall. So, as you can probably tell over there, I was kind of getting impatient because it wouldn't fit. Basically, I miscalculated how deep this lip here was going to get in, because it needs to go under the door frame. So you see it's about this much that I had to take off, so I just patched it up right there. The support is okay in the middle. It doesn't really have all that much. We might get a crack at some point, but if we do, I'll just I'll deal with it then. I don't think it's any big deal. But we got a wall. That's awesome. Okay, so before we wrap everything up for this episode, we have to do one more thing. We have to fix this up so it's not a big gaping gross hole. And we're gonna do that just now. And we're also, if you remember the poor little guy from here, gonna move right about there somewhere, I'm gonna say. And of course, we're gonna finish everything up. There's gonna be some issues probably over there because there's a taper similar to upstairs. I seem to be cursed with these tapers. Here, it's pretty much 0, but then it's actually crooked. Ends up way to the left. We will have to move this switch a little bit over to the right, but that should be no big deal. That's a quick fix. See this black spot? That's where I almost got electrocuted last time. So now I know better. Flip the breaker, and that's it. So we're kind of moving along well. Did my first California patch over there. Now we gotta fix that part up over there. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because of that air vent. We'll figure something out. Okay, since we don't have enough cable to move that power outlet all the way to the right, which is ideally where I would want it to be, and I really don't want to put like a junction box over there, or God forbid like splice the wires. That will be just like illegal. I'm just gonna basically extend this left stud over there with a couple of more of these, and we're gonna mount it on those. Wow, a lot of work. So I have all this, don't mind that patch over there. That's like, we have some weirdness over there that we gotta take care of. This is, still gotta do that part over there. So yeah, as I was saying, looks like we're done with this whole portion. There's no more drywall work to be done over here. So we're all set, and And yeah, before you jump down in the comments and start telling me, hey Alec, you forgot da-da-da. Like, I know. So it's important that you have these drywall screws 16 inches apart each way, right? So I kind of forgot about that. And yeah, we're officially done with drywall. This is great news, really. This is all the rough work, fitting pieces in, solving problems. We still do have a little bit more drywall to take care of, but it's way less tedious than this. Basically, we need to tear this entire wall down, fill it up with Rockwool, of course, put the original drywall on, and then put a layer of 5/8. We're actually gonna put a layer of that green glue stuff. I'm not sure if you've seen that. It's like a special glue that decouples surfaces. So that should also help, hopefully. But yeah, I want Ivana's office to be sort of as quiet as possible, you know, being that I'm gonna be like raising hell over here next door. So. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really enjoying this entire process thoroughly, and especially sharing it with you all. And yeah, I know it's perhaps a little bit different than what you're seeing from me, but you know what? You don't build a studio every day. So I'm super stoked really to share this entire experience with all of you guys. Do subscribe, do smash the like button, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff to help out with the algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. It's gonna be exciting. I'm probably gonna open up those Vicoustic products next time. Anyway, ciao.